Hey
Hola.
y'all. And it's been a while, but welcome to Banter Box.
Yes.
I think we have so much to cover that I don't even know where to start. I guess the most recent thing is the Ayesha Curry situation
Mm-hmm.
that we've kind of been talking about. And I, for one, felt like I can relate to an extent. Um, you can feel insecure when you don't feel attractive, even though it's not less confident. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like I feel like okay, I'm curvy, I got a little look, but if nobody's seeking
Mm-hmm.
that, it can make you feel some type of way, and I felt that type of way before. What
Yes.
you think?
So I feel like most of what I'm getting from it is the fact that she has been with her husband
For years.
for years. She said that she has basically known him or been with him since she was 15. So
Long
the
time.
better part of her teenagehood and all of adulthood.
Like half
This
her life,
pretty much,
literally.
yeah. So this is basically the only real relationship with a man that she knows. And as selfish as it is, we all want to feel coveted. And it even if it's in a lustful sense. Now granted we may turn it down or whatever, but just to know that there is somebody who sees something else in you. And all right, where I'm basically going with this is I feel like some of it has to do with being a wife and a mother, the whole almost their whole adult life. Their oldest child probably like what 7 or something, and then
If
they
that.
have 2 younger ones. So for the better part of their relationship, her husband has been a superstar, and especially over these last few years, these last what 6 years or so,
The thirst has been real for him.
super duper real. Like
Right.
he turned into Superman, and now everybody wants to be Supergirl.
Right.
Not because anybody finds him drop dead gorgeous, but because he's a catch. He's not scandalous from what we know. He isn't scandalous. He loves, at the time when it was just Riley, their
Right.
oldest daughter,
Right.
he had her
Stop.
everywhere. I mean, just
Stop.
he is what you would want in your healthy relationship. And then she turns out to be what you would want, what a man would want in his ideal healthy relationship. The woman who is mothering, nurturing, taking care of home, just being responsible, classy, all of those things. But the thing is that once you become a mom, you really start to kind of wear that tag on your forehead everywhere. And you don't want to always necessarily feel like a mom. You want to feel like
A woman.
you want to feel like a woman.
Right.
And
Right.
it isn't because you out here, trying to get more notches in your hoe belt. But
Right.
there's nothing wrong with knowing that somebody likes you. Or I guess what could be wrong is the fact that it exudes having low self-esteem. But again, this is a part of being a mother. Kids take so much from us. And even before you become a mom, just when you decide that you want to commit, that relationship takes so much from you. And you start to feel like this man or this woman is really only giving me this attention because we're in this relationship. Are you really and truly still attracted to me? If I was walking down the street today, as we speak, not knowing you, would you still feel that same way that you felt about me when we first met? Would you still feel that spark?
Right.
And committed relationships, that's why people always telling you have to keep the spark going.
Right.
Because you lose it.
I was gonna say if not every relationship, most relationships definitely have like that dry spell, like where it becomes routine, and then with it being routine, again, that also comes with the motherhood, cooking, cleaning, helping with homework, talking through situations.
But that just speaks to it. Like, what's her brand right now? She has a cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
She's on Food Network.
She's a catch as well.
But that's the thing. Okay, so I was just talking to my husband about this on the way here, and he said that what he's noticed as of late, you don't find anybody saying that either of them are attractive. Everybody says that he's average and she's average.
Point.
But so did you see the video?
Mm-mm. I just heard it.
I only got about, say, 10 minutes into it. Like, that's how early she started into this. Okay. And just to kind of cut myself off real quick, the reason I wanted to look at it was because the snippets was one thing to have an opinion on, but to actually kind of see her body language in it told me a lot more. It actually confirmed what I had already been saying prior to me even watching it. But 10 minutes into the video, Jada Pinkett Smith said something that was so profound to me. I've heard part of this before, but the way she worded it was just everything to me. And that was about women being gold diggers. And the reason that this comes into play is because it kind of goes along with what Josh was saying about women not finding Steph Curry physically attractive, mm-hmm. is the fact that when women they seek for security. Mm-hmm. You are almost guaranteed security with the star of the NBA. Mm-hmm. So whether or not you're attracted to him is neither here nor there, because you know that if you get with him, what do we always say? We set for life, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. That's what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And he is one of the few people in the league who is set for generation upon generation upon generation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then when you look at his wife, she has what they're calling an average look.
Okay.
Which I think is fine, because why do we all want to have the Fashion Nova body?
Right.
She is very reachable. That doesn't make her ugly.
Right.
But I guarantee you, she was probably one of the prettiest girls in her class, mm-hmm. because everybody loves that exotic look. Mm-hmm. Steph Curry is light-skinned with light eyes. Mm-hmm. If this was the man working at Metro, mm-hmm. everybody would get on his bus wanting to talk to him, because he work at Metro. Mm-hmm. That's like being in the NBA out
That's
here.
Security.
It's like they're gonna get on that bus. They're gonna see them eyes. They're gonna see that he's light skinned, and then it's everybody know that they get paid on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, it's just like he would have been a catch. And then she would have been a catch too, because mm-hmm. these men want their babies to come out light-skinned with long, pretty, flowing hair and mm-hmm. all of this stuff, you know? So we have very shallow desires. Mm-hmm. But she does too, because she is wanting to feel pretty. Right. And that it's shallow, but it means so, so much. But anyway, so just to kind of loop it around. Mm-hmm. All right, you about to act irritated, and you're going to irritate me. Just to kind of bring it around to Jada Pinkett's point, that it's primal when men want women, because women procreate. Like, we birth the earth. That's what we do.
Right.
The men plant the seed, we birth the earth. Mm-hmm. And so automatically when they see us, they want to have sex with us. Whether mm-hmm. or not they want to have kids is neither here nor there, but they want to have sex with us. Mm-hmm. All right. The primal part of that for women is because we want to feel secured and protected. We're going to want to go after. It is our primal instinct to go after the richest or the powerful, to go after the most powerful man, because we feel like that is the one that's going to give us all the things that we need, the security mm-hmm. that we need. So I just had to speak on that, because I felt like when she said that, like, it just really... It opened my eyes to a whole different thing. Mm-hmm.
That some people don't want to address. Like, mm-hmm. you'll be surprised how many celebrities, single and those married, mm-hmm. feel the same way. You know, just because, or even if they're lusting after them for sex, mm-hmm. you know, the women will feel that people are coming after them for industry shit too, mm-hmm. for security shit too. You know, the celebrity will. But I was with a friend of mine, and we were talking to a couple guys, and we asked them, like, you know, is there a double standard with women and men? Like, okay, are you going to date a girl who has no job, who's sitting at home and doing nothing, you know, no goals or anything like that? And surprisingly, it was like 50-50. You know, some of them said, yeah, I'll do it. You know, if she's a good girl, we can grow together. We can.
But he's not going to commit to her automatically. He's not. That's
the key. That's the key. But they don't want to admit that. You know, maybe they were just saying that because it was two bitches right there and they wanted to appeal a certain type of way. But the ones that was keeping it real was like, shit, she want that from me. You know what I mean? She want the same thing from me. She ain't fucking with me with no job.
But see, this is where the double standard comes in, that because it's like you want the traditional stuff, but then you want to live in 2019 too. And the fact of the matter is that in 2019, it is very difficult to sustain a life without a 2-income household. Both people have to be working. So you cannot realistically want June Cleaver at home raising the kids, getting them up early in the morning, doing all these things, having a full breakfast spread out for everybody, having your lunch ready for the day, you picking your briefcase up, heading on out the door with your lunch bag, and the kids going out with their 4-course lunch, coming home to a 5-course meal dinner.
Right.
Everybody's getting tucked in. Kids getting kissed, getting their bedtime story, getting their prayers. Husbands getting rolled to sleep. Like, this is not realistic right now. But the other part of this too is, getting back to them real quick, and how this really applies to our regular lives. She has basically been pregnant for the majority of their adult relationship. And that's not to say she's been pregnant every year, but if you really put it into context, with him being on the road as much as he is, means he doesn't see her that often. So you get her pregnant and you're out on the road. She's spending a great majority of these months pregnant by herself. Then she ends up having the baby. You may or may not be there. But right after that, you're going back on the road. So then she's left to nurse and nurture this baby. When you come back home, you get her pregnant again. So she has to raise the child and take care of herself while pregnant, while you're out. You come back home, at whatever point the baby is born, she gets pregnant again. They have 3 kids. So now she has to raise the 2 kids, run the household, and take care of herself during the pregnancy. You're still gone. This isn't to say that he's not giving her any attention. He's given as much as he can, more than likely, but circumstantially, you cannot reasonably expect that you're going to have this 9-to-5 lifestyle, because that's not what you all have. Your husband is not coming home to you every single night. He's yours, but he is not. You all are not raising your household together. Everything is pretty much done family oriented around his time and his schedule. And you have to find a way to stay busy,
right,
so that you feel substantial.
Hence but then her companies,
exactly
like that.
But she's still doing domestic shit. But you're trying to feel sexy at the same time. But and your husband having sex with you, not because you're sexy, but really because he's committed to you.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, you can't really do the sexy. I mean, you can, but what you want to do to appeal for your man, walking around in your lingerie and shit like that with your ass out, you can't do that with the kids.
Right.
You know, running around, walking around. You know, you really have to designate that time and energy and kind of get it in when you can.
Right.
You know, as far as appeal.
Right.
You know, as far as the attraction, not just fucking. But,
right.
You know, as far as building a connection or keeping a connection and keeping that attraction and vibe and stuff like that, that is difficult when you're home with kids running
but
the house.
This is the thing,
and
too.
He's not there.
People do not say... Shawnee O'Neal had 5 kids with Shaq. So she was mothering the whole entire time, carrying herself with complete class, just like Ayesha Curry. No man out here is checking for Shawnee the same way. Then you go get Lou Williams, who got 2 girlfriends, young joints, sexy. Mm-hmm. Now everybody like, oh, I want Lou Williams' life. I want to have an open relationship. I want to have 2
kids. I mean, the girls don't have kids.
I am almost certain that one of them definitely has a kid with him. Mm. Both of them may, but he definitely has a kid with one of them.
Okay.
I'm going to have to look it up. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is that these are centerfold y'all girls. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shawnee O'Neal is not that. She's parenting. She was wifing. She's running businesses. Mm-hmm. Ayesha Curry, average, just the same. Parenting, mothering, whatever, being a wife, nurturing, running business.
And then it's crazy because niggas say that's what they want. They want the regular schmegula who's not trying to be in the spotlight or use them or do this and do that. Mm-hmm. Those are like most celebrities, most of these basketball players. If you look at their wives plain fucking Jane. Mm-hmm. Like they really are just average, mm-hmm. But the ones throwing it at them, the ones who we see on TV, the ones who we think they want or, mm-hmm. They're attracted to and stuff like that. Be the Fashion Nova ones.
Exactly.
Like
because, and I'm saying that because everybody wants the Fashion Nova body right now. Like if you can fit into a pair of Fashion Nova jeans, then you have the ideal body. Like
now I can fit some Fashion Nova jeans. I got my little fupa going on.
I can too, but that's why I get all that high waist jeans.
Yeah, but you can still see my shit.
Right.
I mean, hold up. Don't let me get up because it ain't that bad now, damn it. I can show you. It's a little curve, but
oh my
God. What I mean? The fupa's still there. And it's not the Fashion Nova. I'm not tagging Fashion Nova in my shit.
Right. This ain't a promo. But this is just an attesting to the types of ideals that men want or what they want on the surface or whatever the case may be. But the thing is that when it all boils down to it, or you want somebody to raise your kid, it ain't the Fashion Nova model.
Exactly.
It is the Ayesha
you
Curry.
Want someone you want to bring home to your mother, that you want to stand by you to accept these awards and, represent you as far as your career and stuff like that. It's not those months.
Because if she was out here dressing trashy and just being loose, ratchet, I mean, dressing her kid in Burberry plaid everywhere they go, then everybody will be talking about her. That's not really the attention that you want. I mean, attention is attention. It's all publicity, but that ain't what you want. But I feel like what she was doing right then was showing her truth, showing her vulnerability, and I respect that because the grass is not always greener. We all want the Golden Gate, the big white house, we all want those things, but what goes on behind those doors are really the same troubles. They're just more exponential because you're yelling through a 25,000 square foot home now versus an 1,100 square foot. So it's just a bigger issue.
And then given that the circumstances are different, you're right. They go through the same shit that we go through, but, and this is kind of off topic, but in the realm, is that when you stay? Is that when you deal with most shit because you have that security? Are you accepting a little cheating here and there? Are you accepting a little disrespect here and there, whatever, because you have that security? Or are you willing to say, fuck it? Like Ma says, when you got all that shit, it's like, okay, no, don't go. You know what I mean? Or fuck it, I'ma just stay.
Yeah.
You love me anyway. You willing to work more or not even work, because it's a difference between working on a relationship and accepting
and then letting,
the shit.
And then just sitting in it.
Just accept the bullshit, but some people do. And again, this is not just women. Like, it's some men who want to be in a relationship. They looking for the security. They want all those things. They uphold values in a relationship. And the girls are loose. I mean, I done been hearing it crazy. Drake said it perfectly. Niggas act more like bitches these days, and bitches acting more like niggas. Everybody's saying that the females are reckless. They this, they that. You know, they go harder than niggas and all that. Personally, I feel like that's true to an extent because we've been doing y'all shit for a minute.
Right.
You know what I mean? We've had to step up in ways that we shouldn't have had to. And that's not necessarily blaming the guys because, you know, it's political shit, it's systematic shit going on. Systematic. You know, some things don't some situations guys really didn't put themselves in, you know, to an extent. But, you know, we got so many people in jail and getting killed and all that shit with the crack shit and all, you know, all these different decades of new shit. Like in the 80s, it was drug shit. Well, 60s, 70s, you got AIDS, faggy shit. Like every decade something has a big boom, you know. So the 80s we had the drug shit. The 90s it was more so the onset of the AIDS, the sexuality shit, and you know all that type stuff. And that was the onset with social media. And now in the 2000s, in this new millennium, everything is just desensitized. Everything is social media. Everything is fucking competition. What I can do and you can't.
Everything is desensitized, but it's magnified at the same time. There is almost no such thing as privacy. Privacy is so abnormal at this point. People actually feel disrespected when you choose to keep things private. Everybody has an obligation and an entitlement into every little detail about you. And
which is bananas to me because my shit don't have nothing to do with your shit.
But then this is where esteem comes in, because you are really caught between trying to keep people out of your stuff because you don't want people judging, but then at the same time you're still going to get judged for being private anyway. So then you kind of go on a slight quest to say, look, this ain't this ain't doing what it is. This way. Right. So you're trying to show something, but you're going to be talked about regardless. Either way. And I mean, people really and truly are just going to feel however they feel about you. There's definitely a role reversal. This is not getting into sexuality or anything like that, but there's definitely a role reversal. There are a lot of things that are now that used to be the affinity of women that are becoming the affinity of men. And men, I feel like, just slightly piggybacking off of something that I feel like you were about to get into, is with niggas acting like bitches, bitches acting like niggas. Men are so emotional, and so incapable of
expressing that emotion.
Not only expressing that emotion, but they are so incapable of dealing with the stuff that we deal with from them. They are definitely the embodiment of you can dish it but you can't take it. Because women are more outwardly expressive, then we come off as emotional creatures. But the fact of the matter is that a person who says nothing is emotional.
Right.
A person who says a lot is emotional.
Yeah.
A person who just has a medium is emotional. Everything is an emotion. And people fail to realize that, like, being emotional has such a negative connotation. You can't say anything because you're being emotional. And as soon as you say that, people automatically know what you mean, because you're being dramatic. You're being, you're doing too much. That's what being emotional is. And it's not fair. So then you don't have any security in being able to emote how you really and truly feel, because you're going to get talked about. Everybody's going to have something to say about the way that you feel. Nobody's going to have confidence in the way that you're going to react to anything, because their perception is that you're going to always over dramatize it. Like, why can't I feel this way?
And you know, I say that shit all the time. If you feel it for a reason. You have to express it. You have to release it, because holding it in is 10 times worse. But, I mean, even, it's so many factors into that, okay? this sexuality shit is crazy. I'm sorry. I think any man in tight ass jeans is not a man. Something's going on. You know what I mean? And that's nothing against the metrosexual or anything like that. But it has never. I'm not going to be attracted to a man looking and wearing shit that I wear. You know what I'm saying? Right, I don't want to see a man in fitted jeans. I don't want to see a man with his shirt giving cleavage and shit. Like, I don't want to see that. I'm not attracted to that. That's feminine shit to me. You know, you expressing yourself is not feminine to me. You crying is not feminine to me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to do things like that. But I think the outward affects the fucking inward. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be or give this a look. Like, men with the fucking toothpaste, the spray on, like all this shit that the women are doing, the fucking men are doing. That's what's driving me crazy.
Is that we deal with y'all weaves and so on and so forth, but most of the time women are taking on a particular look because they see that this is what the men want. Mm-hmm. And this almost really goes right back to the start of the conversation with Ayesha Curry, because she sees a certain type of woman getting attention.
Men want the hoe. You know,
even if you don't want the hoe, you want the one that looks like a hoe.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
you're the one that is just automatically attractive.
Men are driven by the physical. That's the difference. Men are driven by the physical. Rarely will they see titties and ass and not be aroused. Yeah, mm-hmm. And that's on anybody.
If you don't get
that, is really on anybody. So with that happening, you know, I feel that, okay, go ahead and step your shit up, do what you got to do as a man, and then let me, like, I really want to be a woman. Mm-hmm. I love to be a woman. Mm-hmm. I want to be submissive. You know, I want to be able to.
In the video more than you?
I don't know. I want the man to make me feel like the woman. You know, right. I want to feel like I'm playing my role in the relationship.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
The nurturer. Mm-hmm. I don't mind being submissive. Mm-hmm. I don't mind being a little softer. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I want a man to be brute or aggressive or anything like that, but the men were put here to lead. Mm-hmm. We were put here to support that lead. Mm-hmm. I want to do that. I don't want to feel like I have to curry you. You know, I don't want you to be complacent in not having a job because you're emotional,
right?
Or I don't want you to feel like the white man bringing you down and all that shit. Like, that shit, that's whining baby shit to me. That's really no fucking excuse. So if the man is giving me these characteristics, or the men in my life have given these characteristics, then okay, I gotta step my shit up.
It puts way more pressure on the women, and so then you end up having the women who are acting like the men, who are taking on being so first of all, women are head of the household anyway. Not because they're income driven, but because they're taking care of the house. That's head of the household. The person who brings it in is not the one who's the head of the household. They're not the decision maker. You are the provider, but I'm going to make the decision. The CEOs do the same thing. Like, they're not the ones out there actually executing the blueprint. They're not coming up with all the stuff. They are not the architect of the whole thing. So they're funding it.
So if we're doing the same thing though, so if I'm providing, he's providing, if we're alternating making breakfast and lunch and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Then that's the both of you deciding that this is how we should take care of each other. This is what I can do for you without emasculating you, and this is what I can do for you without making you as the woman feel like you are taking on the role of the man in the house.
Right.
Because you are not supposed to be the supporter, provider, and nurturer. You're not. That just is what it is. Now, for your kids, you both are supposed to be the same thing. The kids are going to go to whoever they go to in the house, or between the parents or whatever. They're going to feel how they feel, and you know, be received in whatever way by either parent. But as far as mom and dad having to take care of each other, or the two adults in the household having to take care of each other, you have to make a decision about what is healthy for your household and your lifestyle, and you have to honor that in every sense of the word. Mm-hmm. If my strength is cooking, I'm honestly going to expect that, and I would expect my man to expect that of me too, that's what I'm doing all the time. Like, surprise me, cook that stuff sometimes, or cook something sometimes, burn a fucking hot dog, I don't care. Right. But do something to shock me, shake it up a little bit. But it's a healthy shock. And then if I don't know what a man really good at, like it.
Fixing shit, like
take him out and pay for dinner or whatever. Don't always make it seem like he always got to pull his wallet out for stuff. You know, sometimes, treat your man. Let him know that you appreciate him. But then you have to have those talks with your spouse about how they feel appreciated. Going back to Ayesha Curry, she has to have that talk with her man. And not to say that she didn't. I feel like in the video, I didn't finish it. But I feel like she was saying that she had this conversation with him. But this is the thing with that. When you feel a certain way, when you initially feel that way and you don't address it, the burden thereafter is all on you. Because you made the decision to not deal with it when it happened. You are the reason that it festered. Now, if you express this thing and this person is continuing that behavior that is making you uncomfortable, then the burden there is on the both of you. Right. But you're still going to be in the equation because the decision to deal with whatever you're dealing with is going to always be up to you. They're not going to adjust because they don't feel comfortable with the adjustment. That is the only thing that makes people change. It has to be something that they want to do. You can tell somebody all the time, this is what I want from you. This is what I expect from you. But they have to have the desire to do it. And not to say if they don't do it that they don't care, but they just were not moved to that point yet. They did not have that epiphany in their life or in their relationship or situation to change that particular thing to make you happy. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to sit there and continue to feel hurt and belittled and not attractive and not appreciated by your spouse. That's not what that means. But you have a responsibility to make yourself feel comfortable at the same time. Your level of discomfort is only really ever, like, that barrier is only really broken because you allowed it. Nobody knows your tics. I know some shit that might irritate you, but it's only really, really, really gonna get to you if you let it.
Right. And then if you don't tell me that it irritates you, why should I stop?
Yes.
Or, why should I change what I'm doing? And I think that's the crux of everything going wrong in the world, which is communication. Absolutely. I think the lack of that is just bananas. The fact that, first of all, I'm okay with texting. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like texting has taken away so much value of friendships, of even your own thoughts, your feelings and shit like that, because people text shit, or like social media, you can comment from behind your fucking phone. You don't have to really be accountable for your shit. You don't, half these people saying shit online will never, ever, ever see these people in their lives, But yet they have so much to say. They always want to give their view or give their perspective. You'll see fucking Catfish. I'm not even a major fan of the show. But I binged the shit one day and I was disgusted. I could not believe the audacity of these fucking people.
I could not believe that they could
create a page that
the
ain't
fact
even
that
you.
This show has been on for as long as it has,
and people still getting duped.
That is the problem.
Fucking bananas. It's like, bananas. Y'all not here.
The desire to be accepted is that big that Catfish has been a thing all of this time. This should have just been a one season show. This joint has gone on and on and on.
And it's gone on because not only are people still thirsting for that attention, it's gone on because people really want to hurt people. Like, it was really people on there, okay, I did it, so what? This is who I really am. This is who I feel like I am. Like, It's just, it was so, I just really could not believe
the
that
internet
shit.
does not force you to be a humane individual.
And
it
it's
doesn't.
sad. And it's sad.
It doesn't force you to be a humane individual. So when people are saying that, like, you really mean to tell me we have all of these negative people in the world?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people see a window of opportunity and then they take it. And it isn't because that's necessarily who they want to be. Nobody aspires that. You do not come into the world with a negative chromosome and a positive chromosome. That's not how this works.
That is true.
But when you see something, when there's an image that is portrayed, and it's like, curiosity and temptation ends up taking over, and then you end up becoming obsessive.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you're too far gone, and you're starting to say that this is who I am. This is who I've always been. I've always wanted to skin a fucking cat.
You believe your lies. Like, how can you? It's no, like you said, it's no way. You don't come into the world angry. Like, when they say kids, kids mean as shit, but they're not mean to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
They're mean because they're honest. They don't know how to be. They don't know how to protect your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to know, no, I'm hurt, or no, you stink.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they feel like you should know that because they're learning, okay, it's wrong to stink.
Right.
It's wrong to hit. Right. It's wrong to, do these things. So it's like, you don't come in the world born like that, but to allow yourself. The whole thing is making a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You even though you have desires of your heart, you have desires of the body and stuff like that, you still make the choice to be the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You still make the choice to be the mean ass. A lot of people are impulsive. Like, they'll do things to satisfy the creature, the body.
Yep.
And then afterwards feel fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Some people really feel fucked up about doing the wrong, but because of the clout they get from the wrong, they want to keep doing it. Like, I don't even know the little girl name. Bad Baby, Barbie, the little white girl who be cussing and shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? She was on Dr. Phil.
Catch Me Outside little girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, all of that shit. Oh, it was another one, like some little Chinese girl that her brother was taking her around, and she was like making videos talking about people, or she was using, her mother worked for somebody rich, and she was using the videos, the cars and shit, and she brother riding her around, and she like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm in your hood. She was on like some Takashi shit. So it was really somebody online trying to capture her because they knew it was fake, or trying to get her. But the sad part is how many people were inciting this. Like, this little girl was 9 years old talking about, yeah, I'm on y'all niggas spot, and this, talking all this shit, and people were really